Welcome to Castle Combe, where the Millers Royals Toyota MR2 Championship makes its return today after an absence of 4 years. More recently, there has been a non-championship race here for the Japanese sports cars, and that was a breakthrough meeting for current frontrunners Jim Davis and Matt Palmer. But while Palmer has his sights set on adding to his 6 successive victories so far this year, others are not aiming quite that high, as Liam Jenkins found out.
So Daniel Wiggins making your debut today for Rogue Motorsport here at Castle Combe. I mean, how are your nerves at the moment?
Absolutely terrified. First race, I've not been able to sleep for days.
But I mean, obviously Castle Combe, it could be a lot worse here today. I mean, the weather's looking quite promising at the moment, so surely it's a bit of a relief that it's not going to be in the wet.
Yes, although I have heard rumours that there might be a bit of rain for race 2 later on, so we'll have to sort of adapt and relearn my racing.
So obviously making your first race here today in the MR2 Championship with Rogue, how did this come around then?
Basically, as a motorsport fan, I've been watching the BTCC and such races for a few years. I thought, rather than much, why not just go and have a go? So I went and took my race licence. I'd heard about Rogue Motorsport running the MR2 Championship, got in touch with them. They were doing a test day, went down for the day, and was pretty much hooked from there.
Oh, brilliant. So, as we say, obviously it's your first race, it's a little bit nervous. What are your aspirations, Annie? Are you just looking to try and get some experience?
Yes, just purely experience at this moment in time, and then, well, if I'm any good later on, we'll see what I can achieve later.
We're all set for the first race of the day for the Millers Royals Toyota MR2 Championship, rounds 7 and 8 taking place here at Castle Combe this weekend. And as we said, Matt Palmer has been victorious in all 6 of the races held so far. He's 10 points clear of Jim Davis in the championship standings coming into this weekend, with Stuart Nichols in 3rd, another 11 points back. A bit of a different look to the grid though, because Jim Davis, well, he lines up only on 7th and Stuart Nichols 9th. But it's P1 for number 1, Matt Palmer, at the front of the grid. Alongside him on the front row is Russell Hennessy in the car usually campaigned by John Wilson. It's Michael Wells and Cam Walton on row 2, Christian White and Miles Hodgson on the 3rd row of the grid. As the lights start to go on, we've got on board with Mick Nichols in car number 89, who does not get away at all from row 12 of the grid. The remaining 5 or so rows of the grid shoot past him, and finally he finds a gear somewhere, and Mick Nichols has a lot of work to do. But up front, it's a decent start, not by Matt Palmer but by the other blue car from the front row of the grid. That is Russell Hennessy. Palmer looked to be a little bit further back, if anything. On board here with Tim Heron, car number 5. He started 12th on the grid. That's Miles Hodgson, number 55, up ahead of him, locking up there, and Heron has to go very wide. It's onto the grass, a half spin, and Heron losing a bit of ground there to 1 or 2 drivers. It's Wells then that has the lead of the race now as they head through the S's and down towards Old Paddock. On board now with Christian White. He started on the 3rd row of the grid. A good qualifying performance here from Christian in the number 28 car, the man from just along the M4 in Maidenhead. So there's Russell Hennessy ahead of Jim Davis, so that is 3rd and 4th. So that's a good start from Jim Davis, up 3 places already from his slightly disappointing qualifying position of 7th. And here's the local man, Mike Wells from Yeovil. I think it's only his 2nd meeting of the season, but he was certainly a contender for victories last season, a regular podium finisher. He finished 4th place in the championship last year and is leading the race here at Castle Combe. Up towards the end of lap 1, but already Matt Palmer is mounting an attack. He's having a look on the inside at Camp Corner there. They more or less can't be split as they go across the line that time, but Palmer has his car positioned on the inside line for Folly and for the right-hander at Quarry Corner, but Wells is really duking it out with the champion here over Avon Rise any moment now, and then they arrive at Quarry Corner. A blind approach, a tight right-hander, but Palmer's got it done. Palmer takes the lead of the race at Quarry Corner then at the start of lap number 2, as we see number 55 Miles Hodgson through there on the inside of number 22, which is Mark Barber from Northampton. Christian White there, number 28, you can see turning his way through ahead of Cam Walton, who's going very well here this weekend in car number 56, the blue and yellow car. Further back there's the likes of Shane Mansbridge going through, and a problem for number 23, a spin for Bill Schwartz there. Mick Nichols on his recovery drive in one of the other roadsters has to take avoiding action, And he loses a place there to, I think that was Martin Fahy, who had to start on the back row of the grid in car number 29. On board here with Stuart Nichols, who had a bad start to the previous race at Snetterton, fought his way back up to 9th, as his dad Rick's turned for a bad start here. Stuart started 9th here. It looks like he's up to P5 here though, I think. Is that Jim Davis up ahead of him? We'll get confirmation of that at the moment as Rob Wells in the white, green and red car goes through. There's Tim Heron, number 5, on the rear of his car. And we go on board with Tim now, up towards Folly, the right-hander. It looks like he's losing a position there to Martin Farrelly, one of the Rogue Motorsport cars, number 24. The Hampshire-based Irishman goes through, but can Tim Heron fight back as they arrive up at Quarry Corner? There's number 33, which is Alex Knight, the Glaswegian driver. There's White then. And there is Cam Walton doing battle with the number 33 car of Alex Knight. Walton from Henfield in Sussex. And very well here. Relative newcomer to the championship for this season. Appeared at Snetterton for the first time a few weeks ago. It was Daniel Wiggins just going on his way in his first ever race there. And doing a very good job of just keeping it neat and tidy, nice and safe. And that's all we're looking for in your first ever race, as Mick Nichols has some work to do behind another of the racing dads. It's number 49 there, David Rowe, father of Ben Rowe, who's a little bit further up the order. Mick tries to go around the outside of him, but loses it. Oof, goodness me. Gathers it all together again, because that could have been quite nasty if it'd gone off there. And Mick Nichols does indeed make it through. So two roadsters together here in 4th and 5th positions, I think this is. Yes, it is. Jim Davis in the Stratford Tyres entered car, and the Ware Heating and Bathrooms number 88 of Stuart Nichols there in 5th place, both just behind Russell Hennessy, who's going very well in the Hennessy Motorsport prepared number 74 Mark II. It does seem to me here at Castle Combe that the roadsters that aren't quite as well suited to this track. It's more of a power layout, not as technical as, for example, Snetterton, where the last round of the championship was held. And those larger, not quite so powerful roadsters tend to go better at those kind of circuits than the out-and-out power ones, such as Castle Combe. Well, Mike Wells there in 2nd place, not really letting Matt Palmer get away with this one. 3rd, 4th and 5th right together then, Hennessy, Davis and Nichols, as they turn their way out of Bobby's. Up ahead of them, someone's kicked up some dust. Now, is that Matt Palmer or Mike Wells? It must be one of them, but they both still seem to be heading in the right general direction towards Camp Corner. Davis here having a look down the inside of Hennessy for 3rd position. It's almost nose to tail there through Camp Corner, the right-hander at the end of the lap. And having a great view of this is Stuart Nichols. On board with him we go. We can see out of the back of the car, we can see what Stuart's doing at the wheel. And we can see out the front as well, of course. Just might be taking a few hundredths of a second out of Jim Davis then as they head up towards Quarry Corner, but not close enough to make a move. That's 3rd, 4th and 5th, bit of a gap back then to 6th position, which is being disputed by Christian White and Cam Walton by the looks of it. Now Jim Davis having a look once again. This is at the S's, and this time I think he's made it through. And yes, he has. Jim Davis goes up to 3rd position. The man who lies 2nd in the championship goes to P3, as William Gallagher there in number 83 is doing battle with the 71 car of Graham Mailings. .28 is Christian White, 56 is Cam Walton in only his 2nd meeting in the MR2 Championship. Christian White was the rookie champion last season, finishing well up overall as well. See Cam just out of our rear view mirror as it was there at the top of the picture. You can see them flashing past the pit wall and through to start another lap of this 1.8 mile Castle Combe circuit. A very quick layout. A couple of years ago the MR2's had a non-championship race here. Palmer was victorious on that occasion. And Jim Davis now has got ahead of Russell Hennessy. He's pulling away a little bit from Hennessy. Stuart Nichols fancies a chance of getting through into 4th position as well. There's 6th and 7th place scrap. Then Rob Wells is there in 8th. 9th looks to be Alex Knight, with Ben Rowe in 10th. Miles Hodgson 11th. Now he started 6th, so he went backwards a little bit at the start. We saw him locking up at Quarry Corner on the first lap, of course. Another driver due to the championship this weekend. So there's Ben Rowe at number 7. Rowe and Alex Knight, who's going down the inside of there, were victorious at Brands Hatch at the beginning of last season. Still Cam Walton in number 56 trying to find his way past the number 28 car of Chris White, and they're just lapping there. The number 50 Rogue Motorsport prepared roadster of Daniel Wiggins, doing a very good job of keeping out of everybody's way on his first race. He won't be wanting to get involved and to disrupt anyone else's battle. Walton, you can see the novice cross on the back of his car now. That's Simon Wallace that's got it all wrong at Bobby's, that is. And he spins around onto the grass there, and he loses 2 or 3 places as a result. So Simon Wallace in the number 73 car is going to drop further back. He was around about 20th position, I think, before that moment. Wiggins there had to keep a way out of an absolute bomb burst into Quarry Corner, which involves some of the Rogue Motorsport prepared cars. You've got Farrelly and Barber there. I think Sean Trainer is involved in that as well, who has been going very well on his debut season at number 27, the 43-year-old from Winchester. His car run by his mechanic Lee Hall. There's Tim Heron, number 5, making his way through. More dust being kicked up. It's a dry day at Castle Combe. The threatened showers haven't yet arrived. Barber now tries to go alongside the number 5 car of Tim Heron as we watch number 30 get very out of shape. And very nearly collects the number 71 car of Graham Mailings. It's Darren Aldworth from Oxford that's gone around, and he'll get it going again. But it's very close shave with the short oval racer Graham Mailings. His son Tom is due to join the grid for the next meeting at Rockingham. Look at this, absolutely fantastic action. Sean Trainer there, more or less side by side with Mark Barber, number 22. Tim Heron involved as well in number 5. So is Martin Farrelly and Nigel Ralphson joining in as well now in the number 85 car. Nigel, who has 75 points coming into this weekend. Compare that to Matt Palmer's 154 at the top of the standings. So 11th coming into this weekend, and the man who's 10th spins out. Sean Trainer was 10th in the points coming into this weekend despite an exclusion last time out at Snetterton. But he's going to lose a lot of places here. He's on the grass then on the inside of the circuit. I think he'll be able to rejoin, but not before he's lost an awful lot of time. Stuart Nichols still in behind Russell Hennessy, so it's Hennessy 4th and Stuart Nichols in 5th. Well, Stuart's dad Mick is still trying to fight his way back through the field after his poor start to the race when he couldn't find a gear. What can Stuart do about Hennessy? Hennessy is certainly a very mean preparer of these cars, but he seems to be racing them just as well. Left hand flick just before Quarry, the right hander. There is a stat that floats around which I don't quite believe, that more than half of the incidents in British motor racing occur at Quarry Corner. Don't quite believe that, but certainly a good few do. Stuart Nichols avoided one there, thankfully for him. Rob Wells, he's turning his way through. Alex Knight just behind and alongside him, and possibly about to make up a place on the run down to the S's. Here's Mick Nichols then, we're saying he's been making up some places. Let's see if he can make up another. He's not very far up the order. He's still well outside the top 20 of the 33 cars that started this race. A very healthy grid for the MR2 Championship. It's Graham Mailings, in actual fact, that almost got caught up in that Darren Aldworth incident that's just up ahead of him. Mailings, a newcomer to the MR2 Championship this season. Well, we said the showers had missed us so far. I think Graham Mailings might have different ideas. He's got his wipers on, and he's let the number 89 car of Mick Nichols go through, but Mick goes far too wide there, and immediately Mailings can get the place back. Meanwhile, Matt Palmer now on to his final lap of the race. It wasn't the best of starts to it. It took him just over a lap though to get ahead of Mike Wells. And Palmer, who's won 6 races so far this season, looks like he's about to add to that tally. Rob Wells is being attacked now by Tim Heron. This is a little bit further back down the order. This is for 11th and 12th places, with Alex Knight currently occupying the final place inside the top 10. Palmer though up towards Camp Corner for the final time. 11th lap's about to be completed, and 7 wins about to be completed by Matt Palmer in the Miller's Oils Toyota MR2 Championship, and it's a good win in the end by more than 4 seconds over Michael Wells. And that fight for 4th place is going to go the way of Russell Hennessy. Davies has crossed the line in 3rd, but in the end there was only just over a quarter of a second between those 2 cars, and this scrap that's been bubbling away for something like 11th backwards for most of the race really continues to rage. Rob Wells is going to get it, Tim Heron's going to be 12th, and 13th and 14th basically side by side there, Mark Bithry and Martin Farrelly. But Matt Palmer it is that's taken his 7th win of the season. We're almost halfway through the year and it's looking pretty unstoppable. Well, we'll take a look at the results now, and the win going to Matthew Palmer by just under 4.5 seconds from Michael Wells, with Jim Davis there in 3rd place. Russell Hennessy 4th, Stuart Nichols 5th, and Cam Walton completing the top 6. Further back, Christian White was 7th ahead of Ben Rowe in 8th. Miles Hodgson and Alex Knight completed the top 10, with Palmer getting the fastest lap.
So, race winner Matt, I mean, how are you feeling after that? You popped the champagne pretty quickly. Is it a big feeling of elation for you?
Yeah, it's a really good result. I thank Andy at AW Track Sport for working really hard on the car yesterday. At testing, we had some issues with the suspension, and yeah, he managed to sort it out for us.
So just talk us through your race then, because was it as easy as it looked on track for you?
I managed to make a real mess of the start and get too much wheel spin, and then bounce into limiter, which meant I dropped down to 3rd. Then I tried to be brave around the outside in going into Quarry, and then I got behind Mike and just got a good run on him into the final corner, and then got past.
Yeah, so obviously a good result for you in terms of the championship. Will you be hoping to do much of the same this afternoon as well?
Yeah, I'm just going to try and go for another win and hopefully make it 8 from 8.
Okay, so on to the 2nd place man, and obviously a very good result for you. Will you be hoping that it would have been a win?
Absolutely. I had a cracking start from the 2nd row. Managed to get Russ and Matt into the 1st corner pretty much, and tried to defend into the final corner on the 1st lap there, but Matt just threw it down the inside, so I had to give him some space. I'm not in the championship this year. I've only done a couple due to work commitments, so I wasn't going to ruin his championship. Let him go, but I did try and catch him. It just wasn't going to happen today, but I'm happy with 2nd, and big thanks to Russ Hennessy, my girlfriend Lucy, and all my supporters here as well. It's been superb.
Welcome back to Castle Combe for the 2nd race of the day in the Miller's Oils Toyota MR2 Championship. The grid determined by 2nd fastest times in qualifying this morning. So it's Palmer and Wells on the front row, Hennessy and Walton on row 2, Hodgson and Ben Rowe on row 3. Rob Wells has made a massive jump start there. He's stopped and he's started again. But Rob Wells will surely be penalised for that. He went a long time before the lights went out, as we could see from Christian White's car there. Up front, this time it's a better start from Matt Palmer. Looks like Hennessy there is level pegging for 2nd position with Mike Wells, who's going to get that turned into Quarry Corner first of all, or second of all. It's going to be Hennessy. I think James Davis is there in 4th place. He started this race in 8th, so 4 places made up by the first corner. We had all 33 cars that started the first race finish the first race, an excellent result of reliability, and also in terms of incidents as well, because Castle Combe is known as being a circuit that does have 1 or 2 accidents from time to time, so well done to all of the drivers for bringing it home in race 1. As we go on board now with the number 55 car, which is Miles Hodgson, charging down towards Tower Corner then. Looks like is that the Ben Rowe car up ahead? I think it may be. Turning his way out of Tower now and up towards the chicane at Bobby's. So yes, it was Hennessy that got to 2nd, Wells 3rd, Jim Davis 4th, Stuart Nichols in 5th place from 7th on the grid. So Davis getting ahead of Nichols off the start there, interestingly, in the scrap for Roadster supremacy. And talking of scraps for supremacy, around the outside of Russell Hennessy goes Mike Wells at Camp Corner to try and get second place away. I'm not sure that's quite worked though. He's on the outside line now for Folly Corner. A bit further back we go on board with Christian White. Alex Knight, I think that is just to our right and ahead of us. But then a bit of a clear track further ahead. As look at this, it's almost 3 cars into one. Wells has made it stick for second place all the way around the outside then. He gets ahead of Russell Hennessy. Jim Davis tried to follow him through as well, but all of this scrapping is letting Matt Palmer get away, of course, and the engineer from Reading has a very handy lead already. Round 8 of the championship, 16 rounds in all this season. This is the halfway mark as we see a spin for number 49 there, which is David Rowe from Holsworthy in Devon. It's the local track for David and his son Ben, but it's still a journey of 2 or 3 hours to get here. Down in deepest, darkest Devon. So Wiggins now ahead of Rowe. Palmer continues to lead, Wells second, Hennessy third, and the 2 roadsters snapping at his heels in the form of Davis and Stuart Nichols, the TV cameraman. Davis trying to make it up to P3 now, around the outside here of Russell Hennessy, but we go on board with number 55, Miles Hodgson. Started 5th on the grid for this race, finished race 1 in 9th position. Coming through to complete another lap then. Wells just getting away from Hennessy now, who's having to really focus on defending and keeping Jim Davis and Stuart Nichols behind. Up towards Quarry they go. So 3rd, 4th and 5th right together here. And 6th place is Cam Walton, who had that top 6 finish in race 1 as well. He'll be very pleased with his performances here at Castle Combe this weekend, I'm sure. Davis trying to have a look around the outside at Old Paddock. That's not on, surely. That's never going to work. He did carry more speed out of the S's though on that occasion, did Jim Davis, but in a straight line the power of the Mark IIs just tells a little bit. Class B Mark IIs with their 2 litre engines compared to the 1.8 litre engines for the Class C Roadsters. We don't have any of the Class A Mark 1s here this weekend. Oh, a mistake there by Hennessy, and that's going to hand it to Jim Davis on a plate, surely, and the man from Stratford-upon-Avon goes through. Stuart Nichols tries to follow, but Hennessy immediately just tries to crowd him out a little bit there on the run up towards Camp Corner. Nichols is going to get it done, surely. Over the line they go, more or less side by side. Has Hennessy held on? Yes, he has for the moment, but he's still trying to get some of that momentum back, I think. So Nichols might get a run at him through towards Quarry Corner. It certainly brought Cam Walton into the equation, and Ben Rowe as well. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th positions all together on track, and Cam Walton there has gone up the inside of Stuart Nichols briefly, but he's outbraked himself. And talking about making mistakes is Rob Wells there. Mike's brother just having an off at Quarry Corner, and Miles Hodgson, who therefore has more speed, thought he might have a go at Wells into the S's, but Wells just about managed to find the line there into the S's, and he kept Miles Hodgson at bay from taking that position. So on board with Hodgson here, down towards Tower Corner, a little bit further up the circuit at Bobby's. Mike Wells, you can see, in 2nd place, and Jim Davis has gone after him now. Hennessy there in 4th place, and Stuart Nichols 5th as Martin Farrelly goes straight on at the chicane there, weaving his way through the tyre markers, trying to feed back into the traffic in a safe place. Yep, shake of the head. It's not quite gone to plan for Martin Farrelly in this one, the 41-year-old IT service sales manager. Great view of the circuit, the cars coming through Folly, the fast right hand, the wide expanses you can see of Castle Combe here. Plenty of room on the circuit. So we go on board now with number 34, Shane Mansbridge, the Norwich driver, in his 2nd season of racing as a motocross official. Ooh, and talking of cross, getting very crossed up there. Has he retained control? Just about. He's not retained his position. Yeah, shake the head. Head down, Shane. Let's get back on it. through the S as he goes, having lost a place. But lucky not to have had a more serious incident, I think, there. Here's Matt Palmer then in the lead of the race, and Jim Davis certainly pushing on there, and that gives Mike Wells a bit of a run, doesn't it, on the way into Bobby's. But no, Mike Wells can't capitalise there. Well, you certainly can't accuse Jim Davis of not trying here. He's made it up into second position, and he wants more. I'm not sure he's going to catch Matt Palmer though in this form. Up towards Camp Corner at the end of the lap, so Jim Davis up to second. Davis has been on the podium for all of the races so far this season. He's heading for an 8 out of 8 record as well as Matt Palmer, but Palmer of course has won on all 7 occasions so far. Let's see if he can make it 8 here at Castle Combe. And the podium finishers this season have been Stuart Nichols on 4 occasions. Ben Rowe's been a visitor, so has Matt Wallace last time out at Snetterton. And of course Michael Wells here in race number 1. It's more or less side by side, but Stuart Nichols there got his wheel onto the dirt, and therefore as he was braking for the S's, the car squirmed a little bit and he lost a few car lengths. It's brought Ben Rowe and Cam Walton very much into play there. Now, who's going to be third in this race? Is it going to be Mike Wells, or is it going to be Russell Hennessy? Down towards the right hand they go. Hennessy trying to go around the outside there, but it's not going to work surely. Out of Tower Corner now. So Wells in third position, Hennessy in fourth place. Fifth place is Stuart Nichols, but a little bit wayward there, coming out of Bobby's and up through Westway and towards Camp Corner now. So this is third, fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh there doing battle. Ben Rowe having got the better of Cam Walton so far in this race. Mark Barber going through in 8th, Rob Wells 9th, Miles Hodgson is in 10th position. Further back down the order, there's number 83, which is William Gallagher from Skelmersdale. In his Mark 2, Gary Skip you could see going through shot there as well. There's Nigel Ralphson, number 85. Quite up through the order as far as we've seen him in other races here at Castle Combe this weekend. It's Mansbridge, just duelling with Mark Bithry there. Nichols you could see too in the checkered flag liveried roadster. Here's Chris White. So Rob Wells up ahead of him. White started a little bit further back on the grid for this one. He started 11th. A lot more speed than Rob Wells. Does he get the car turned in? Well, he does, but he was running out wide onto the dirt and he's actually lost ground there. He's lost 3 places. He's lost the place to Wells. Hodgson's gone through, and so has Sean Traynor. So possibly a slightly misjudged move there from Christian White, and it's cost him a bit of ground. Alex Knight as well trying to capitalise. Just goes to show in MR2 racing, so close. You make one mistake and you can lose a stack full of places. You've got to do all the hard work to get them back once more. So Wells at the head of this group now. Of course, Wells does have that 10-second penalty hanging over his head for the jump start. So although he's in a relatively strong top 10 position on the track here, he'll have 10 seconds added to his time at the end of the race, and that will put him more back down the order with so many cars close in behind him. He needs to try and pull away from this group really. So we're on board once again with Miles Hodgson, with Sean Traynor up ahead in his first year. Wells has Traynor trying to go around the outside of him now at Tower Corner. It's brave if you can do it. Well, Jim Davis there having settled nicely into second place. Matt Palmer still leading, of course. There's Mike Wells third, Hennessy fourth, Stuart Nichols 5th, Ben Rowe 6th, but look at this scrap. Traynor still trying to go around the outside of Rob Wells as they head now up towards Camp Corner. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars here, all occupying the space of a roller skate on the track, it seems. Absolutely fantastic racing for the lower order positions here. as a reminder, all 33 cars finished race 1. Touch wood, all 33 cars are running in race 2 at the moment as well. So that's the wonder that will happen if it carries on as close as this. Christian White there in the 28 car, back ahead of number 27, which is Sean Trainer. 55 there is Miles Hodgson, the grey coloured car. Tim Heron getting stuck in as well now, the former speed event competitor in number 5. Now Wells has lost a position or two there on the road. This is before his 10-second penalty has been added, so I wonder if Wells got a problem here, because he's lost a little bit of ground as well to the car in front, which is that of Sean Trainer now. 28 and 27 together. As they head down towards the right-hander tower. Oh, and Wells is definitely going to lose more ground now, I think. A kind of Jim Davis kind of mistake. Saying that, he's lost time. He's not actually lost any places, because Miles Hodgson just behind him, unable to capitalise from that scrappy moment for Rob Wells, who's pushing on. I'm sure he knows that he's got this 10-second penalty. If anything, the mistake he made was stopping again. I have seen a race this season where a driver made a mistake of starting too early and carried on going. There's a couple of drivers there. Looks like Mick Nichols and the number 28 car, Christian White, getting the black and white driving standards flag. That'll be for going off the circuit a little bit too often, I shouldn't wonder. So they need to watch out not to do it again, otherwise they'll get a 5-second penalty. Oh, and that is that Christian Will Schwartz's bumper that's been lost there. As 69 Gary Skip spins around, there's another car that's gone off onto the infield as well, which is the number 30 Darren Aldworth machine. We got a little bit too tight into Camp Corner, and the man that was contending for the lead of this race right at the beginning, Russell Hennessy, has a spin around at the S's, and so he loses quite a bit of ground because of that. So Russell Hennessy finishing 4th in the earlier race. Good work there by the marshal, applauded by the crowd there to recover that errant piece of bodywork. As the last lap board now goes out. Shane Mansbridge losing a place here to Nigel Ralphson as they go into Camp Corner. A little bit of rubbing there, Mansbridge gets crossed up, he spins, he's facing the wrong way. Cars scatter to avoid him. Mansbridge get this car fired up again. He's on the circuit, he's trying to pull onto the grass now, so he's not in anybody's way. Yeah, he does get the car fired up again. So frustration there for Shane Mansbridge. Well, Matt Palmer has had time during the course of this race to stop and admire the poppies that are making Castle Combe such a colourful sight this weekend. Out of Westway he goes, up towards Camp Corner for the final time. And Matt Palmer is going to win for an 8th successive time in the Miller's Oils Toyota MR2 Championship. 8 races down, 8 races to go. He can't, can he? 2nd place goes to Jim Davis, 3rd goes to Mike Wells, 4th to Stuart Nichols, and 5th position to Ben Rowe in the end. Coming through now in 6th place with a good run towards the end is Mark Barber. Cam Walton 7th, and Russell Hennessy, after his spin at the S's, takes 8th place. Well, plenty of day glow on the car and the race suit. It's the day glow glove of Matt Palmer waving to the crowd, but Jim Davis also looks pretty pleased with 2nd place. He'll know that this was a circuit that really suited the Mark II more so than his Roadster. Here are the results then of the 2nd race of the day at Castle Combe. Palmer it was that took the win by almost 5 seconds from Jim Davis. Mike Wells was 3rd. Nichols, Rowe and Barber completed the top 6. Further back, the last car in the top 10 was Christian White. Rob Wells' penalty dropped him to 21st.
Okay, so Mike, again, 2 podiums here at Castle Combe today. I mean, were you hoping for a little bit more, or are you going to go home a happy man?
I'm more than happy, to be honest. As I said before, I've only done one other race this year, and this might even be my last. So just to sort of turn up and come home with a couple of trophies is fantastic. It just seemed to work today, right from the word go. Not quite enough. I couldn't quite put the pressure on Matt like I wanted to. Want to smile off his face up there on the number 1 slot, but you know, he's a great driver, so it's going to take a lot. But yeah, really happy with 2 podiums.
So Jim, 2 podiums today, you can't be disappointed with that.
No, and started from further back this time round, so yeah, well chuffed with it.
So just talk us through your race then, because it looked a little bit intense out there.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I aimed to make as many places I could on the start, and that worked out pretty well. And then the car felt a lot quicker than last race. I made some tweaks with geometry, and it just seemed to hold the corners a hell of a lot better. So with that pace, I managed to get past Mike fairly well, and then I thought I'd be catching Matt, but he saw me coming and just stepped on it, and I couldn't catch it.
So looking forward to Rockingham then, do you think you can take this sort of positive momentum?
Yeah, mixed there last year. I won the first race by a mile, and then the second race the engine blew up, so we'll have to see how this one goes.
Okay, so Matt, you came here in 2012, you won, you've come here again today taking 2 victories, and your streak continues. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, it's really, really good. At the start of the season, I didn't think I'd be able to get 8 wins in a row, especially visiting some of the circuits like Snetterton, where the roasters are really strong. I think this track probably suited my car the most, and yeah, it showed.
So how did you approach race number 2 then, coming off number 1?
I made sure I made a better start to begin with, and then I managed to get a bit of a gap, and I saw Jim coming up quick behind Mike, and then when he got a bit closer, I increased my pace and managed to pull away.
Okay, so looking forward to the next round of the championship. Then you've got quite a nice break now. What's the next preparation going to be? Just relax a bit, or are you still going to keep working?
I'm not sure if I'll be able to get in a couple of test days, but no, apart from that, I'll just keep doing some running, keeping fit, and make the car look a bit nicer.
Now the big question on everyone's lips is going to be, can you make it 9 in a row?
I think at Rockingham it's going to be really tricky. Last year, Jim in the Mark III was really strong, and we just couldn't get close enough, so it's going to be hard work.
Okay, we'll see you at Rockingham.
Cheers.
And Rockingham is indeed the venue for the next round of the Millers Oils Toyota MR2 Championship. Do join us then. For now, from all of us here, it's goodbye.